Welcome to Las Vegas. We are here at NBA Summer League, and welcome to The Jump. I am Rachel Nichols. I am here with Kendrick Perkins, and we've got a voice from Los Angeles, Mr. Stephen A. Smith, joining us as well. We got a jam-packed show today, and you know, guys, that they say follow the money. So we're going to start with the dollar bills that Mavs All-Star Luka Doncic just collected, signing a 5-year, $207 million Supermax extension. And remember, Luka's just 22. So normally even a max extension for someone his age would not be eligible to be a Supermax, but because he has twice been voted first-team All-NBA, he got the extra cash. And earlier today, Luka talked about his new deal. Take a listen.
It's a really special moment here. Obviously, thank you to Dallas for offering me this. I still kind of don't know what to say because I never imagined this happening. I was only dreaming, only playing in the NBA, and now I can sign an extension with Dallas Mavericks for 5 more years, which I never had a doubt of it. I always wanted to sign this.
Perk, Luka is a legit baller, but the Mavs do have yet to win a playoff series with him. What does this mega deal mean for the Mavs going forward?
Oh, it means everything. Locking in a young superstar like Luka, we're watching a Dirk Nowitzki story all over again. And Luka seems like the guy that is the guy that want to go through the grind and stick with the grind and finish with an organization that drafted him. So I think this is a huge step. He's only 22 years of age, and he's already accomplished a lot in his young career. So getting him locked in, and that lets us, one, know that Luka wants to be in Dallas, and he's only going to get better. So, you know, it means everything for the Dallas Mavericks and Luka.
I'm going to use several words to describe what this is for the Dallas Mavericks and Luka. Number one, very obvious and predictable because he's a superstar in this league, and you definitely were going to pay him. There is no doubt about that. But I'm also going to utter the word dangerous. And the word dangerous is very operative here, and here is why. Because you have Luka, first of all, he wasn't going anywhere because he wasn't turning down $207 million. Okay, so we all know that. I mean, newsflash, okay, he wasn't going anywhere. But here's what makes it dangerous, Rachel and Kendrick. The Dallas Mavericks have to get him help. We've seen it, particularly in recent history in the National Basketball Association, which we all know, where just because you sign that mega deal doesn't mean you're stuck with a team. You can demand to be out. You can force your way out. You don't have to stay in a desolate kind of situation if that's how you feel about it. And because you now have locked him up at $207 million over 5 years, that now places the pressure on primarily Mark Cuban and to a lesser degree Jason Kidd to get him the ideal talent around him that he wants. You know Kristaps Porzingis ain't that dude at this particular moment in time. They haven't necessarily vibed. And as you look at the rest of the roster, although they don't have scrubs, you don't have anybody that knocks your socks off that gives you an indication that you're going to be able to legitimately compete in the Western Conference. You're going to have to get him help. Otherwise, that same guy you're celebrating, giving this $207 million to, is the same guy that's going to say, get me the hell up out of here. Before long, if you don't show him you're ready to change things around and get him some help.
Yeah, you're so right. I mean, we used to say, oh, they locked him down. You don't really actually lock anyone down anymore because there is such fluidity and players feel empowered to take control of their own destiny. I think it's going to be fascinating. We saw new GM Nico Harrison over in Slovenia to build that relationship, to actually sign the piece of paper. We saw Dirk Nowitzki in that contingent in Slovenia. I love the image of Dirk walking the streets there and all the people coming up to him. But I do think those ties are going to matter because Luka idolizes Dirk, right?
Rachel, let me say this real quick. Nico Harris coming over from Nike. He's well connected. I know him. You know him. He's got incredible relationships. The pressure might be on him to build a roster. But when we're talking about a bona fide star joining Luka Doncic, make no mistake about it, that's about Mark Cuban. You're the name, you're the face. You know, you don't get to pass that responsibility. And I'm not saying Mark's doing that, but you don't get to pass that over to Nico. You got to do it. Mark Cuban's name and cachet has to come in handy in that regard.
Well, I mean, couldn't we look at this situation for as like looking at the Milwaukee Bucks when you look at Giannis and the journey that he had to go through? Now, I know Giannis was the 15th pick and Luka was a lot higher, but Luka is only 22 years of age. It took, Giannis 8 or 9 years till he finally reached that stage of winning the NBA championship and winning Finals MVP. It took him 6 years to actually host up the trophy of winning the MVP award along with the Defensive Player of the Year award. So what I'm saying is he still have a lot of time. So when I said it, is this because of this, Stephen A., he's not a guy that's scratching the surface, not even scratching the surface of his prime yet. So he still have a lot of years. To me, if the Dallas Mavericks continue to progress, meaning if they get out of the first round this upcoming season and then go into the Western Conference Finals, now they're starting to look more like eye candy, and you could attract more free agents.
Well, first of all, they ain't getting out of the first round. Let's just call it what it is. As presently constructed, they ain't getting out of the first round. Okay?
It's a long season, Stephen A. There could be trades.
But you know what I'm saying. Listen, it's like a soap opera. That's the beauty of being a soap opera guy. Because guess what? I get to tell a story while the story is being told. You see what I'm saying?
You don't just get General Hospital man
exactly.
Right there.
It's like what's going on right now, and you know they ain't getting out of that damn first round, Rachel, as presently constructed with all of those teams in the West. Number one. Number two. Let's not forget what we've all had to report about Luka. We all fans of Luka. We like him a lot. They talk about him being temperamental, primarily with the officials, but the coach is gone. The general manager is gone. There's a new coach, a new GM in place. Luka's got something to do with that. He doesn't give you the impression that he knows he's 22 and he's got all the time in the world, so patience is a virtue to him. He don't seem to give a damn about that. He wants what he wants now. And that's where Mark Cuban is going to have to step in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this whole thing is a process, right?
That's
I mean, I think that we're just on the beginning of that part of this journey. As you said, Mr. Soap Opera, you have it down. I do want to get to Los Angeles, though.
Like, I want you. We got to make this happen. And, I took that information and took that, that dialogue and took my time with it. I mean, most people would say we should have got together years ago or early in our career, but we was in two different lanes. We was in two different paths. We was on two different paths. And, everything come full circle.
All right, so Stephen A. Mello says this was just the right time for it. Do you think this is the right roster for it, though? Do you think that this team, as it's constructed, can win a championship?
I think they could. I wouldn't say they're my favorites. I'm still going to go with Brooklyn. But when you acquire Malik Monk, Kendrick Nunn, Wayne Ellington, and Carmelo Anthony to pair with the big three, I don't have a problem with that. That's a team that can win the championship. Obviously, I'm going to still give a team like Brooklyn an edge, but I'm not going to look at the Los Angeles Lakers and say I definitively see a team in the Western Conference that can knock them off or that there's no way in hell they can win a championship. I certainly wouldn't say that.
Well, I just feel like they're built for the postseason, right? And when you look at a team like the Los Angeles Lakers with the veteran leadership, you got guys like Trevor Ariza, LeBron James, Dwight Howard that knows what it takes. And when you have a group of veterans that join together collectively, the word sacrifice comes to mind. And each one of those guys know that they have one goal, and that's to win the championship. And in the 7-game series, you have 4 guys that are capable of going for 30+, meaning carrying the load. That includes LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, and even